What's up, guys?
Well, just a few comments just about practice and then take the questions.
We had a good spirited practice in the heat. We were able to get a lot of work done. Most of our first and second down stuff, and good Tuesday work in what probably going to be very similar weather to over there, 95 or so degrees. So it was good to get out and get some work done in the heat.
Questions?
Questions?
Tyreek McGee was back out there today, correct?
Yes,
How'd he
Tyreek
look?
was back. I thought he was all right. He's pushing through. He was able to take, I would say, probably 25% of the reps. You know, we have a lot of reps on Tuesday, and he took probably a quarter of them. Seemed okay. I would reserve judgment until I watched it. I didn't notice him messing up a lot. It seemed like he had fresher legs than some of the other guys, you know. But we're hoping he'll be able to play, but I don't think we'll know until probably closer to the end of the week.
Would he help you most immediately at star or that corner over there?
I don't know. He probably wouldn't be a corner. He's been playing a lot of safety and star and money, so he's played 3 positions, but he hasn't worked much corner.
Has Amir had his surgery yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amir had it, I think Thursday after it happened or something.
Oh, okay.
It was 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
What about your receivers? How they coming along? The ones
They
that
seemed good. I mean, I thought Terry did good today, looked good, pushed, took some hits, and that was big. Jason and Kiera seemed good. Jason seems back to normal. Kiera's still pushing through, but we're using those guys on special teams, and hopefully we're going to use them on offense too, but I think they're both really good special teams weapons.
How many of those do you anticipate making the trip to South Carolina?
Who's that?
It's receivers, sorry.
No idea. It'll be something divisible of 70. So you got 70, and we'll figure out the right 70 to take based on depth, special teams, how many of those receivers can play. If all of them can play, then we'll try to take probably whatever it takes. I don't know, 9, 10, 11.
Just out of curiosity, when do y'all have to have that finally submitted to them? You know what I mean? Like,
I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I think when we get on the bus,
okay.
if we want to send a guy back and bring a guy, we probably could do that too, but that's not, we don't make that decision finally until probably a lot of times the day of. So Friday we leave, we might switch a guy on Friday.
Coach, what do you tell your young players in your first road trip? Do you ever pull younger guys aside, or is it just one message to the whole team? How do you prepare a team for this type of environment, young guys?
You just try to show them examples. I mean, you try to use examples of people that have played in tough environments and struggled and made bad decisions, and then guys that have played in tough environments and never been affected by the environment. So, I mean, you either control it or it controls you. And I'm a big believer in you control it by what you do, and it's gonna be tough to play over there. I mean, it's really tough on communication, but I mean, look, in the SEC, you can count on that every week. So
Almost the whole practice happens when we're not out there. So, but today, kind of noticed you talking more about composure than we've seen you out there before. I mean, is that something, because this is the first home game, first away game, is that something that you just try to make sure that you're hammering home early in the
no,
week?
it's one of our main pillars. You know, we talk about physicality, toughness, effort, and composure is one of our big ones, because we're a big believer in controlling your actions in the right way. I think every player wants to be physical and play hard and hit people. They wouldn't be in football, but they've also got to play with really good composure.
I just on Terry, you know, he's missed obviously a lot of time, but I would assume he would be on any bus that pulls out of here if he can play. Is there any question about his physical ability to get on that bus?
I think it's going to depend on if he's healthy enough or not. You know, and that's still to be determined. I mean, because we can't take a guy that's not going to be able to play, and we don't know that yet. I feel good after watching him today that he's going to be able to play, but that won't be certain until probably Thursday.
Yesterday you mentioned that the running backs missed a lot of holes in the pass game.
I didn't say they missed a lot.
Not a lot.
Okay, they missed a few. I wouldn't say a lot. They rushed for, I don't know what we rushed for, but they didn't miss a lot.
What are you doing in practice to prevent that from happening this weekend?
You know, I think it's more patience, because the same run that one or two of them might have missed, they've made before. So it's more repetition, being patient. First game, maybe jitters, just a couple plays that they tried to bounce out. I think they'll be the first to tell you that, but it's not a lot of it. it's more being patient. Our backs do a good job with their vision, and they kind of go where the hole leads them to go. And you never know with what defense you're playing where it might hit.
Can you, yesterday it seemed like we focused a lot on South Carolina's offense and Jake Bentley and those guys. Their defense has improved a good bit too. Can you talk a little bit about them? And I guess Brunson is, I hear, an elite linebacker as far as middle linebackers go.
Yeah, he's really athletic, sideline to sideline, makes a lot of plays. I mean, there's times where you see him and he reminds you of our guy last year, just sideline to sideline, running all over the place. Really athletic. They're big up front. You know, they did a really good job against us last year in the run game. They're physical. Starts in the middle with Ken Long. He does a tremendous job. You know, Bryson Allen seems like he's been there forever. They've got good corners and safeties. So they do a tremendous job overall with their defense. They play really hard. They play really physical, and they try to make you play left-handed. I mean, they make you one-dimensional, and they try to force you into things you don't want to do.
Do you kind of, with you and Will having the intersection in your background, do you kind of end up looking in the mirror defensively, kind of what they do and their philosophy?
Not as much as you'd think. I mean, I watch them on defense because we overlap teams a lot of times, and I don't see as many similarities as you'd say a Tennessee or an Alabama right now. I mean, Will has kind of evolved into his own defensive belief from going to Texas and Auburn and Florida. He's not. It's like it's not the same tree really anymore. Now, both of them are really good defenses, and everybody can do it their own way. But philosophically, it's not like they're the exact same as us. You know?
There's been a lot of stories, I guess, and backgrounds with you and Coach Muschamp. What role did he play in your career at Georgia? What's the best way to encapsulate that?
In my career at Georgia,
Yeah, player.
really no role. I mean, he was a captain, a senior, and I was a red shirt. I didn't play, so there was not a lot of role as far as. I mean, we weren't that close while we were here. We knew each other. I was on the team, but I didn't. I mean, I was only here for 6 months while he was here. You know what I mean? It was just like summer, fall, he left. So there wasn't a major role there. Our relationship started at Iowa State, really. And when I got hired down there, we spent time together, and then at LSU, we spent time together.
Did he haze you? That was back in the day. Did he shave you, hold you down and shave
I got
your
hazed. I got hazed a little bit, but it wasn't by Will. By some other guys. Will's one of the nice guys.
Have you learned in this business, not necessarily about Will or whatever, but that today's adversary can be tomorrow's, you know, whether it's a coach or when you were dealing with the Blankenships, you know, players that commit elsewhere and then 2 years later end up on your team, that you've got to have a short memory in this business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're looking at it from a coaching perspective, which I don't know if you're asking about coaching or like those relationships you're talking about. I mean, you can't do it that way. I mean, there's never been a kid that when he called me to say he wasn't coming to Georgia or wherever I was coaching that I didn't congratulate. I mean, it does no good to get upset with them because it's their decision. So I think that always comes back when you handle it the right way, and it has helped sometimes. Some of those relationships carried over when I went to the NFL because there was kids I recruited that were in the NFL. But I think in the coaching profession, most coaches have a respect, or at least I have a respect for most coaches, that I'm not going to let a recruiting come between that coach and I, because I know that's part of the business. And whether he gets the kid or we get the kid, I'm still going to be friends with him. I may work on staff with him. You know, I may need a job and he may hire me. I don't think that I learned that a long time ago, that the recruiting does not come between a relationship or a coach, not somebody that's a true friend.
On the importance of familiarity with you guys, Will was talking about today how, you know, I mean, and I think you guys crossed paths or joined forces together in the NFL when y'all both coached there with the Dolphins. Is that right?
I came when he left. But
Oh, okay.
we were the same place, but at the same time.
Right,
When
but
he
he-
left, it opened a spot.
But he was talking about just the playing this divisional teams twice a year and all that stuff, and the familiarity and how overplayed that is. Do you kind of see that the same way? As doesn't really matter how familiar you are with the team because of the fact that new wrinkles and it does all come down to execution.
You know, I think it does matter when you play them twice in the same year. I would say the Auburn thing, that mattered. It seemed like it was like back to back. And we don't have that in college football.
Right.
Very rarely does that happen. In the NFL, that happens every year. You know, but I was only in the NFL a year, so I don't really know how those guys look at it. But I don't look at it like, oh, we're so familiar with South Carolina because we play them once a year. We study them a lot. And they've got a great program, but I don't look at it like playing somebody back-to-back weeks or twice in 4 weeks.
talking about Rodrigo Blankenship, and it's kind of went quietly in the game. You know, he made his field goal. He was 8 for 8 on touchbacks. When you go back, I remember you saying, you know, well, I'd like to see more range out of him. I'd like to see his kickoffs. It's pretty amazing, kind of where he's answered every check that you sort of asked for when in those developmental years. Where he is
The
now.
first year to the second year, he answered all that. I mean, that was probably when Notre Dame was the second game, and that was one of his premier games. I mean, as far as kicking went, and I think he did that in the offseason. You know, he really worked hard in the offseason, and he said, "I want to get stronger. I want to have more distance. I want to be able to be more accurate." He did a lot of that. Now he's got more goals for this year. He sets goals for himself, and he started off the right way. I mean, he did a tremendous job. He's a weapon, and he was on Saturday, and I hope he continues to be.
Kirby, did the first game tell you much about your pass rush? What did you think of Brenton Cox's first game?
I don't think the first game's a good judge. They were such a running team, and they were not going to hold the ball on third down. You know, they were going to get the ball out quick. It was a quick deal. They were going to try to hold the ball, so it was a little bit different. I thought Brenton played hard. I didn't think he played things right all the time, but it was his first game. I mean, I'm glad he got to get that under his belt. Brenton's practiced really hard this week. I know that, so he's got a motor.
What about I don't know if we've asked you about Jackson Harris.
Yeah, you know, he's got his foot injury and he's had surgery and don't know how long. I mean, it's probably a little worse than Malcolm's was last year.
2 more questions?
I wanted to ask about J.R. Reed, just kind of looking at him in general, how much he's developed over the past year, and how has he kind of taken on maybe more of a leadership role this season?
Yeah, he's a great kid. I mean, he's so positive. He comes up, wants to meet every day. I mean, he's a joy to be around. He's competitive spirit. I mean, football's important to him. I mean, he's what you want in safety positions. He's not afraid to take control, make calls, be demanding, confront other players. I mean, he's really done a good job for us.
We'll kind of poke fun at the fact that there wasn't a depth chart this week. Is that going to be standard procedure, or is it just a matter of there's just so much competition?
I really don't know what Claude's been doing, so I don't know.
Pile on.
As I have. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what they're talking about on the depth chart. So if that's something that we need to get fixed, obviously we can do it, because they have it in the flip card, they have it in the chart. I mean, I didn't think we gave one any of the last 2 years, so I didn't know we were doing something different. But
He was just
you
joking
guys
about it
won.
today in his
Press conference. Well, he's good at jokes. All right. See ya.
Thanks.
Ask him about the facts.